my goal as this man's woman is to make sure, like, do all this, make sure he doesn't have to worry about the other stuff. You don't have to worry about your house being clean. You have to worry about where your meals are going to be. You don't have to worry about, like, all that shit. Like, I take care of that. You go to work, you come happy. You come back home, like, I'm your girl. Like, I got you. Like, I do the shit you don't think about.
Right. Yes.
Like, I pay attention to my relationships.
Right.
Like, it don't matter how small it is. It can be, damn, these socks got new holes in it. What I'm in limits. I got new socks, baby. Don't worry about that. Like, it's not about, see, I think what you are equating to somebody, a relationship that's not 50-50 is more like a gold digger just sitting on her ass, letting this man make his money, not contribute to the relationship except existing in it. And that's not more so what we're talking about. We're more so talking about like 50-50 financially. At the end of the month, you're gonna be like, all right, babe, what you gonna have? Right. Like me personally, I'll pick up a dinner. I'll pick up a dinner here and there just to do it, just because I can. Like, but I don't do that. It's either going on your card or it's going on mine. Like, if I'm like, no, babe, move your hand. There's my card. The whole thing. There's my card. Ain't no, like, who got the time to be calculating tax and tips and shit on different cards? Like, that shit on my card.
I see no problem with that though, because okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Let's go. Especially when it's a beginning thing, just like you had to say, okay, it's nice. I know you men feel like, oh yeah, this girl is good, but who's to say this is your girl? Right. This is your woman. So now you're going 50-50, and you don't have to have that obligation like, oh, I've been paid all this. Like, well, okay, let's just say for what's that girl's name? Saweetie and Saweetie.
Quavo. Hi, Sister Dudes. But
it's like, okay, so the rumor was, okay, so they were in this relationship, but he gets her a car, and then after the relationship is done, he takes it back. Apparently, that was just rumor. But that's like, I look at that the same way with dating. I'm not about to be here and you take like, I don't know, put this shit on the email, but I'm not about to have you come for me because you paid everything before. And then you're gonna be like, bitch, I did this, I did that, I did this.
But you don't want a man that's gonna do that to you though.
Exactly, but how do you know? Because a lot of
that's just dating, period. You're gonna meet some shit. I'm sorry.
So specifically with, I think, the Sweetie and Quavo situation, I think you also have to look at the context, right? You have a guy like Quavo who's buying Sweetie all these things, but when Sweetie's getting these things, what were her general responses online when she got them, right? And that's what I think we have to look at. Was it, oh man, I'm so grateful that this guy got it from me, or yeah, he's supposed to give me that. If he's not buying me a bag, if he's not buying me this, he can't have access. So I think there's a gratefulness component that wasn't necessarily attached to that. So when they broke up and she did it publicly, right? From Quavo's perspective, he's probably like, man, I bought you all of this. I put you in a position to win because let's be honest, yes, Sweetie's talented, but a lot of the notoriety came more so from public interactions together with her and Quavo.
Right.
Her ability to get this high value guy to buy her these extravagant things. So when you have somebody that reneges on that and then is publicly trying to flame their ex, part of her probably like, okay, let me get that back. You have to come up off that.
Don't shush me.
She's ready.
Don't shush me. Don't shush me. I didn't say it.
So I even this title about being a modern man, I think we have to go back to the roots. I'm a proud African, and back in the days, I saw my mom being home taking care of kids. My dad providing and protecting, which is what men are supposed to do. They just passed a couple years later. When I was in high school, I did it with the movies or dinner. It was significant.
Yeah.
I think that changes over the time period about how we succeed and how we progress. So if I'm making $100,000 a year and my girl's making 50, how are we splitting 50-50 on the bill? It makes no sense to me. I think there's certain things that you can do, maybe pay for ballet, maybe a tip or certain things, but me splitting a bill at a restaurant or even a bill at home, she can pay for groceries, stuff like that, toilet paper issue. But for me to split rent or something like that, I have done it before. And shout out to you. $50,000, you get $50,000, we spend rent, rent is $1,500, we put in $750 each, whatever. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the month, I'm still able to go give us hookah.
Do whatever you want to do.
Couple of bottles.
Exactly.
She can't get her nails done here. So I'm completely against it.
I mean,
Like I forgot. Like I come to you.
So, okay,
She's so ready.
okay, just kind of piggyback on what you just said. I agree. So what about the guy who's not making up his weekend?
You should not date.
what?
No, no, but you, okay, what if he's married?
He should not be married.
So you said,
No, what if
so if he's making 40 grand a year, he should be married?
he lost his job?
I don't, okay, let's go, okay, so I'm always going to go back into roots. Men are here to provide and protect.
Yes.
First and foremost, if you're making $40,000 a year, then you should go find another job, a second job. My dad worked 3 jobs and so on. But today's not about working hard, but working smart. You can have multiple income, but there's no way you should have $40,000 and trying to date. First of all, you cannot take care of a kid. So they say you guys all have the sex. You cannot even afford a plan B. You can't afford diapers. So why you have the sex if you're dating? Keep to yourself, build yourself up, get another job or whatever, or get a promotion at your job, make 60,000, make 80,000. Then you should date. It's not about money, it's about what makes sense for yourself and your family.
But
And
it is
to piggyback off what he's saying, I think as a man, it's always good to make decisions on the peak and under your value. So, one thing that I heard, Pastor saying, it always really stuck with me. And he was saying basically that as a man, you shouldn't look to marry until you're in your garden. And what he meant by that is he was like, God didn't give Adam Eve until he was in his garden, right? He didn't want for anything, he didn't need for anything, he had everything together to sustain himself. Then God gave him Eve. So I think for a man,
I love that, right there.
so I think as a man, like a part of it is owing that to yourself, because sometimes you get guys in situations that they're making 20, 30, 40 grand a year, they got married early. Now they get into a situation where let's say they make 150, 200, and their real nature comes out, and they ended up making a decision before in their battle. Now they're peaking, they're like, this wasn't even the situation I really
That's great.
to be in.
Yeah.
So I think that's another component as well. On top of like Stefan said, you gotta be responsible. If you're not making a lot of income and you have kids, like the average kid, I think over 18 years is at least like $150,000 to $200,000. You know what I mean? So if you think about that and that added expense, are you having kids responsibly?
Right. That is.
I saw that.
Okay, real quick, y'all, real quick. Okay, so, to kind of step aside from that whole topic of 50, what about just, the whole high value, low value term? So, like, what would you rate not rate yourself, what would you consider yourself? Would you consider yourself as high
I
value?
feel like, to me, I think the amount of money doesn't determine the value of a person. Because there's other
Kevin says
values.
the opposite.
But no,
Kevin said
that's
the
just
same
showing
thing.
that.
I do not like him.
What?
I don't like him.
No, I mean, I'm saying, because we all evolving. So, you may be one value at one point in your life and you rise to another. So to say this brother ain't no high value man because he's not making $150,000, $200,000, but he's working, he's doing legal stuff that's not tearing up himself or his community. He going back to school. So everybody's value eventually change. Or I've met multi-millionaires and they're trash. They're trash people. They just got money.
Okay, I agree with you, but I think the difference in that, which what you're trying to say, I think that there's high character and high value. So what you're describing is more so high character.
Yes.
But high value, unfortunately,
Just how you look
right?
at
It's
yourself, or
not even just that your income is obviously going to tie into it.
Well,
That's
I
good.
think,
Okay.
again, it's you have to place it in proper context, right? In terms of what we're talking about. So if you're saying high value in the sense of the dating scene, the marketplace, what's going to be attractive to the average person, then when you're looking at that stack and computing somebody's overall value in
good girl here with Lori Harvey. What did you call it?
Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. Behind the scenes.
Like, okay, now she's making something for herself, but she's a pretty bum. Everybody just knew her for her face and her stepdad. That's it.
I guess
She actually spoken, so like I told you. So I guess when it comes to being like a high value, I would say, like I said earlier, like I would say that's the goal. You feel me? Because you don't come out the womb being high value. You don't come fresh. I mean, it depends on your circumstances, it depends on your environment, what you're taught. You feel me? How you're really groomed as a child. So if you see that that's what you want, then that's what you should go after. To me, it's like a mindset. To me, I mean, you could be making 40,000, but shoot, you could be doing what you need to do to get to 100,000 and still be a high value man.
So here's my take on it. Here's my
I
take.
mean, I guess that's just.
Here's my take on it. My take on it is, first of all, I don't like the word building. I think we all have shout out to the Women Podcast. They have a shirt called High Value or High Character. It's really about high character. We all have value. We all have something to bring to the table. It's about character. You mentioned multi-millionaires and how they not nothing. It's about character. $40,000, $1 million doesn't matter. Your character is really defines who you are. So the word high value, just value itself, is not going to be in this conversation. It's about we all have something to bring to the table. But it depends on your personality and your character, who you are as a person, and will determine who you are.
Yeah, because like you see it all the time when you go out into the streets of Atlanta. You see a lot of beautiful ass women. I mean, beautiful, but they are ugly on the inside.
Yes.
I mean, dang. That's what you call low fucking character.
I mean, I guess it's like, what do you guys consider high value, low value? You feel me? If you're saying no, that's not what it is. Like, because, I mean, I would want a high value man, but if he ain't shit, at the end of the day, and talk to me crazy, you feel me? And doing this and doing that, then just because you got all that money don't mean nothing to me.
And that's why I think it's a collection of things,
Yeah.
right? You know, so of course, again, if you're computing the overall value, if you're looking at it from a guy's perspective, income tends to be a part of that, but then there's a lot of other little things that completes that man. So for instance, that's when the character comes into play, that when his personality comes into play, his spiritual belief system, that's something that, you know, is important to you. And then you kind of compute that. But to your point, there's a lot of people, you know, making money is a separate skill set from being a good person, right? And a lot of times they aren't mutually exclusive.
Right.
So I think, you know, you have to kind of figure that out. And once you do, then you can, you know, kind of see, okay, is this person really high value, or is there somebody who just has a lot of money, but they have to have an ego thing, right?
Yeah, and then if we're talking about like the Kevin Samuels definition of a high value man, you know, like he calls the high earners, you know, the Henrys, you know, you're a high earner, but maybe not necessarily high value. But I mean, like we all said, when it comes down to value, like who are we to even like comment on somebody's value as a person? It's just about like their value as it pertains to you and like what they can do for you. What are they adding or subtracting? Everybody to me, friend, like associate. If you're around me, you have to add value to me, 100%, or you're a liability. And you don't deserve access to me.
And to go there, right? I think this really just separates women and men. When we think about high value, right, we think about us men, it's of course about providing, protecting, it's about earning money and having money. Women bring a different. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm ready. No, say it.
So we make money. You could call it to impress or to whatever, but we make money so we can, of course, attract women. Right. If we're gonna go straight to the core. We don't expect women to make money. It's about we want peace. So if I make money, I pay the bills, everything's gravy, what are you bringing that's valuable?
Okay, so let me no, I agree.
Can we go there?
Can I stop you there?
Can we go there?
Can I
Hey,
stop you
Joseph,
there?
can we go there?
No, it's true. It's true.
Femininity, baby.
Let me stop you there. Let me stop.
Okay.
Sorry, let me say.
I want the femininity.
One second, y'all. 1 second. I'm going to definitely
One
agree.
mic, baby.
I'm going to agree with what you're saying 100% because this is the same thing that I said first to you. All the time. When you ask me what I bring to the table, I'm bringing myself. I'm bringing me as a woman. I'm bringing me. I'm peaceful, I'm caring, I'm loving. All the characters I'm nurturing, I can listen. All those feminine qualities about myself is what I'm bringing to the table. If you want to date a man, go and date a man. But I feel like when a man is asking, what do you bring to the table? It doesn't necessarily mean about how much money you're bringing to the table as a woman. Because a woman, my money can't do nothing for a real man. I'm sorry.
So now this is where my thing is when I say this Kevin Samuels guy. I don't know. I can't. Me saying that I do not like that man is really big, but I don't like his delivery about anything. With what you guys are saying makes sense. As what you're saying, you've been said that. I'm bringing myself to you as a woman. Yes. I can turn your house into a home. Yes. I can give you kids. I can do all of this. But the way he's just like, no. Bitch, you don't got 60,000 to match up this. You ain't nothing. You're beneath me.
But first of all, let's give a shout out to all those doctors who are women, judges, attorneys, and so on. Shout out to you guys for making money. That's great. Shout out to you guys. But let's dive in, okay?
Yeah. Let's
go to the core. We are not attracted by that.
Exactly.
Your 10 degrees, your $100,000 you make a year. We don't. That's not what we care for.
Okay.
Shout out to Kevin Samuels. That's good for you, but we're not doing that. We don't care for that. We don't. She said it best. We want peace. We want the feminine energy. We want a home cooked meal. That's what we want. That's what we care for.
Now, one thing I'll add to that, because I don't want women to be able to see that and feel discouraged, right? Because for a woman,
amen.
Of course.
So much effort into getting to that space, it doesn't mean that that's now completely invaluable.
Of course.
The thing that does mean though is you just have to be very, very cognizant that as you're putting yourself in a more masculine frame, right? And masculine and feminine is just an energy thing. So you can have a man who exhibits feminine energy just as you have a woman who can, exhibit feminine energy. But you have to be very careful that as you become a higher earner as a woman, that you're still able to pull out the feminine side of you. And that's where I think people don't necessarily have that conversation, because if you can find a woman who's a high earner but is still able to
it's called balance.
Femininity,
is it possible though?
How many people do that?
Truthfully.
That's amazing for men, because now what happens is you have a woman that has that nurturing side for her, but also has the perspective to be able to fill the holes in his game, because that's really what, when you're looking at a team, right? You're gonna have a team that can do the things that you can't do. Not trying to do the things that you're already doing. Right? And because she has the business mindset, right, that now becomes an addition versus like a hindrance. So I do think that's an angle that also should be talked about, because I think a lot of times women who might be doctoring high, they're like, dang, so now like I done did all this and this guy's going for the girl who might work at Twin Peaks, it doesn't necessarily mean that makes you or value. You just have to be very cognizant to still be able to exude that feminine energy and not have your masculine energy.
Yeah.
So that's
overtake
what you're looking for.
Yes.
That's what a man.
Any man.
You just still want that.
But I'm gonna say this part.
Let's
I feel like as women, we have been put down so much. And the thing is that those real high value men who are really willing to do that, they don't speak much. You know who's speaking? Those men who argue on social media with women. Those men with very feminine traits have caused us women to have to bring down our masculinity. What are they doing? They're breaking homes. They're like destroying the mindsets of women. They're like really fucking with women, like to the point. Nobody ever speaks on that part. Nobody ever speaks on all these feminine ass men who are really fucking up for nobody ever speaks on all these feminine ass men who are fucking up for everybody. Because me as a woman, I only have to pull out my masculinity when I'm being approached by a feminine man and he wants to go back and forth with me as a woman. And nature always has balance. Where there is a lack of masculinity, the other side is going to make it up naturally. And that's what it comes down to. But as a woman, I'm tired of being the man in my relationship.
Yes.
I'm tired of having, I'm sorry to cut you off, baby, but I'm just tired of it. I miss being feminine. I miss just being a woman. I miss not having to be the strong black independent woman on these own man. Like, I do. I definitely fucking do, and I want one. But it's so hard to sift through all these BANs to find the HBMs and all the high. Just a good guy, period. That's just what I think.
At what point do you think bringing out your feminine energy living in Atlanta to where you've had to carry more masculinity with you just because of what you've been interacting with. But the question I would ask you is, at what point would you switch that in which you would exude more feminine energy than masculine? And do you think that would have a difference in necessarily who you may be attracting?
Yes.
No, let her answer that question.
Well, me personally, the way I grew up in a Muslim household, I grew up in a household where the women catered to the men. My dad, my brother, they got served first. Like, that's just the household that I grew up in. It's just disheartening having to go outside and see that's just not the world. So I feel like I've always been taught to live in my femininity. I had to discover masculinity in order to survive in this world of men who really want to be bad bitches. They want to get taken care of. They want 50-50 of everything. They want to be, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, my thing is this. I feel like I present this femininity to you, and then when I encounter femininity back, it's just like, no, hell no. Like, this is what we're not going to do. And I just draw that line in the sand, and I just move on to the next one. My thing is, I never let anybody disturb my peace. I don't come down to anyone's level. I just give it to someone who actually deserves it.
Is it possible to do the right thing with the wrong person?
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
So,
happens a
lot. So again, as you're navigating, do you think there's a conversation to be had about the persona or the choice of person? Because I know you mentioned that you feel like there are a lot of feminine women, or not feminine women, but a lot of feminine men. But I'm sure there's a lot of men who would say there's a lot of masculine women.
There are.
So there can be equal sides to the argument. But I think for us, at what point do we also take an inventory, I guess, of who we're interacting or maybe who we're doing it with?
Yes.
Right? Because again, it's possible to do the right thing with the wrong person, but we also have to be very cognizant that we don't change internally what we're giving out as that happens.
Absolutely, and I feel like as people, period, we need to work on our sense of discernment. So it's just like, what examples do a lot of us have of like these feminine women, these very masculine men? I feel like a lot of these men who I'm gonna call more feminine grew up in usually a single parent household, usually with the mother, and they took it out on the mother for being left by the father and just like was on to anything, like, and they grew up like really self-hating, like just hating women, period. I feel like a lot of men resent their mothers for being left by their fathers. And instead of trying to be that man, they take on that feminine aspect because that's all they know. That's all they were taught. That's all they were around. They were around your daddy ain't shit. Your this, niggas ain't shit. Ha.
Well, so on the flip side, as a man, because I think there's a lot of beautiful feminine women out there, but I've also, encountered a lot of masculine women. What do you think on the flip side has caused for there to be more masculine? So I know you said that guys being raised by more, single parent households, single women has caused more femininity in men, but what's caused more masculinity in women?
I mean, it's the same exact thing. I'm sorry. Okay, right. So let me just finish one part. So I feel like the same thing. I feel like a lot of women, and I hate to say it, but our black women, we coddle our sons, and we teach our women to live. We teach our daughters to live without men. We teach our women to be like, you don't need no man for shit. You gonna be this, you gonna be that. But our sons, they can stay there until they're 30, and the little girls, as soon as she start growing titties, they want to fight. Like that's just, it happens. It happens far too often, and I think education. I think choosing to create children with the right people. Like there's a lot of people like we don't take seriously enough when we have children, but we act like marriage is an unattainable goal for a lot of people. But anybody can get the baby, like, and then this woman is bitter because you don't want to be with her, and then you like make it her fault because like you shouldn't have got left. Like you should know what it was. You should have killed the child.
I guess my last relationship. I guess I will always just consider myself as an alpha woman, but I guess it will be that masculine energy that comes out. But he would always say like, "Dang, I want you to be my woman. Like, why can't you be my woman? Like, you always want to be a da." And I'm like, after we broke up, I realized that he wasn't masculine enough for me. He wasn't alpha enough for me because it's just a certain demeanor. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, how y'all carry yourselves, like, you feel me? Where it's just like, I'm not about to be over y'all. I don't have to snap. I don't have to say something. I trust y'all to lead me because y'all gonna lead yourself.
But that's the thing,
you know what I'm saying? And there's not enough men that's in that type of realm.
So do you feel? Okay, hold on.
So it's like a combative type of thing.
Alpha women submit naturally.
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 I promise you.
To
I
We do.
promise you.
a degree, yes. But I'll say three things. The first two is one thing that I heard from you that I think is very interesting is when it comes to your synopsis of what's created feminine men and masculine women, it seems like the culprit from you has been women. One, women creating feminine men, like with their sons, and then teaching their daughters to be very masculine. Now, granted, I think on the flip side, that's when men come into play and it shows the importance of men in a relationship because we provide structure. The masculine frame is structure, right? The next thing I'll say when it comes to alpha women being able to naturally submit, I will say to a degree, yes. But a lot of times what I find happening is a woman being able to soften herself and submit to a man comes with vulnerability. And if you have a woman that's been taught masculinity, it's generally because she's been in very vulnerable positions and she's had to create that. So then it becomes very hard for her to even make herself vulnerable enough to submit to a masculine man.
Okay.
So when she puts herself in positions with a masculine man, it will feel so uncomfortable for her and she's not able to relax herself enough that she genuinely will steer away from that man and get with the man that's a little bit easier to control.
Okay. I was with you all the way to the end. I was with you all the way to the end.
No.
So me,
Sasha hasn't spoken yet.
Okay.
But Sasha hasn't spoken.
I want to give a couple of experiences that I had. When you asked the question of what would make a masculine woman or what brings about a masculine woman, for me, let me run back to the first thing. I was a sugar mom before.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had it. He was a college student. He didn't have much. I felt, okay, this is what I can do at least to help take care of him, paying his books, making sure he's fed and everything else. That was no problem for me as long as the relationship was good. And the relationship was good, but of course, as I get older, I'm like, okay, I can't do this forever. I want to be taken care of because of, as you said, a lot of what I've been around is men take care of their women. So I got to a point where I ended up moving to Atlanta and I'm just like, okay, I'm going to start fresh. I'm going to find somebody, that's good for me and everything. What happens? I end up being in another relationship that I start taking care of the man. So now, after a year of us two being together while I'm taking care of him because he's not working, he ends up getting money. I don't know where this money came from. And you know. But the minute that happened, he was nowhere to be found.
I gotta respond to this one. I gotta respond to this one. So first of all, I'm gonna mention 3 points.
Okay.
Okay, under 40 seconds. One thing is this. I condemn you. Shout out to what you've been doing. I salute
I
you.
ain't doing it no more. I want to be taken
But
care of.
women like you are destroying the world.
Listen.
I'm gonna go there. We are going to dive in today.
Dive.
I'm tired of women raising a bunch of boys. Men are men and there's boys. Okay? That's not what we're doing here. You know what I'm saying? I've been there. It ain't happening no more. But like I said, it's all about age. We gotta go back to our roots. That's not gonna happen anymore. We gotta stop that.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is, also the second point I'm gonna talk about is about healing. So yes, you've dealt with a lot of men who are, of course, very feminine or whatever, or you had to provide for them. We need to stop that. We are here. I'm going to go back to the roots all day long today. We are here to provide and protect as men. So why are you doing that?
I wanted
You
to
and
get
you,
to
you
that
but you
point
bring in
too.
feminine energy. So even the movie Baby Boy with Tyrese, I can't be driving your car. I can't be in the house when you are working and coming back home and the house ain't clean. If we're gonna switch roles, then pick your own gender. But for right now, if you're gonna be a man, provide and protect. But what you're doing, and I know you've done it many times, I'm glad you're not doing it anymore. Stop that. And if you're watching this, stop that. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
You made a very valid point, and that's exactly why I stopped. And we talked about it a couple of times on Clubhouse. Clubhouse also, the Lounge also has a Clubhouse thing also, so check that out. Yeah. But what I realize is, as I get older and as I realize, I really I would love to submit to someone. But the only why I was definitely that alpha female, masculine and everything. The thing that can take me down and at least be submissive is feeling desired and protected by my man. But I don't see that a lot nowadays.
It's you.
It's not me.
No, can you explain that? I'm curious about that. Why is it? Then what is it? what's causing us to receive that response from a man? And what are we doing? I'm curious.
It's men problem. Okay, y'all need to ever.
I'm curious.
So here's
I'm
the
just-
analogy I
it's a
give,
good
right?
question.
Would you ever want to buy a car before a test drive?
No.
So I guess
Where
it's
you
that
going?
analogy.
Where you going, Joseph? Let's go.
I guess it's that
With
analogy.
this
Well,
one.
even better, I'll do a whole different analogy.
No, go with that. I like that one.
No. I'm gonna do it.
Could I test drive my car?
No, I'm doing this. Better.
I test drive my car.
Let's say you're buying a house, right?
Yeah.
Outside looks beautiful.
Mm.
And you're super sold on the outside, right? But before that, you want to see the inside. Right? You want to make sure that the foundation is good. What if the realtor that you was working with told you, no, just trust me, it's there. It's good inside, right? That's kind of how men feel when you have a woman who's saying, wait, I can be feminine for you. I just have to trust you first.
First of all, wait, Joseph. A real woman will submit if the right guy leads the right way.
I was about to say, you gotta
Okay.
trust your lead.
But what's happening now in this generation, this time, in this modern time, there are some men who do not lead correctly. Who are walking in their feminine energy. Who are expecting women to do everything for them. But there are some guys like ourselves. But there are some guys like ourselves who want to provide for these women. There's really, I don't know what the percentage is. I mean, I'm sure Kevin Samuel knows.
Oh, he knows.
He knows his numbers. He has.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I do know that having this conversation is very positive. It's very useful. But we have to learn and to educate other people out there, but also educate ourselves. What she's doing needs to be stopped. What you've been through, forgive them, move past it, and heal. If you have, I salute you for that. But if you have not, you have to heal from it, because us men, people like myself, we are tired of dealing with people's mistakes that you've dealt with. We paying the price. We have to now. You gonna come at me harder now because the last guy. I don't know that guy. I had nothing to do with him. So why should I pay for his mistakes or what he's done for you?
Let me clarify. These aren't men that I deal with. These are men that I get approached by.
I take that back. It's men who approach you and men you entertain. It's two different things.
I like this now.
Whoever approaches you is one thing. Who you entertain is another thing. I can have 100,000 walk in here. They approach me. I'm not entertaining.
We're test driving it as well.
I might do one or two. It's 100 girls. But
Oh.
No, but seriously, I think that's the main topic we have in here is who we attract,
Yeah.
who we entertain, who we surround ourselves with, and how we think all comes together. So if you're thinking, you said it earlier, I need to feel protected, I need to feel wanted. But if you have to be vulnerable, you have to be feminine to attract that. But if you, I'm not saying you're not doing it. I'm just saying.
You don't think I'm over
You said you were sugar mama. You were proud to say sugar mama.
I'm
You said out your mouth.
I used to.
Okay, so
You said it proud and loud
Okay,
like
let me-
this.
let
You
me-
said sugar mama.
okay, so let me.
Don't even say that though.
I want to say something.
How dare you
I
say
want to
that?
say something to rebuttal what you just said. What
How
did
dare
you
you
just
say
say
that?
just now
What
about you being feminine, or am I not?
being feminine?
You said
that I want to be.
What about
No,
your
no,
sugar mama?
you-
That's a good question.
no,
Why
you-
were you sugar mama before?
No, I want to ask this question because I want her to understand
gonna
where I'm
fight
coming
with
from.
Fight,
You
know?
mentioned that because I look a certain way that you're like
that I want to test drive.
no,
too?
you're feminine. Is that okay? What I'm trying to say is that because of what you look like is not going to determine if you're feminine or not. All those things about what you wear,
Yeah.
you can dress certain kind of way, you can look hair
Most of
done.
the times I look
It's
like
all
a
about
boy.
it's all about the quality that you possess as a woman. Are you soft? Are you nurturing? Are you caring? All those things that embodies a feminine woman are those kind of characteristics. But when it comes to, because I hear that a lot, I look like a woman. That doesn't mean nothing.
I agree. It's energy.
It's your energy.
You can even hear femininity sometimes in like the way you speak.
Yeah.
The tone in which she speaks to you, like, the way that she's moving, the way that she walks
Yeah.
into a room.
Mm.
There's little key, elements that you see as a man that you can tell. I mean, she's very, very feminine. And those are the little intricate things that aren't necessarily on paper. That's what I'm talking about when I say you have to be able to exude those things prior to feeling like, okay, well, this guy can be.
But
those are those little.
No, I feel like I've also done that in my country. Let's just say for me, whenever you're bringing, like you said, in Muslim homes, there's a lot of things that tie in. For me, we kneel down on the floor when you're giving the food to your man, or you have a cup, you kneel, and then you give it to them, and you wait. And in my country, you wait. If they don't need you there, they'll be like, okay, you can go, or they're gonna finish that thing and they'll be like, you can take it, or bring me another one. You're just gonna sit there and be that vulnerable woman. But then the minute that like I did that in a relationship where I was being that person kneeling and baby, let's do this. The minute that I didn't feel like I was getting that respect as a woman still, fuck that. All that out the window.
I can
You
see
get
that
your own damn
happening.
food.
But
The food
why
is
are
on
you
the
still
table.
there?
Then it
If
goes
you
to-
already,
Here comes my masculinity now.
Yeah.
So now you can't be with me because
But then-
you couldn't show me what I needed for my man, but you still want me to be that woman. My nigga, where are we going?
Yeah.
We're not
so,
doing
I mean,
it.
rightfully so, you had a situation where you're doing potentially the right thing with the wrong person. So
Mm.
now the adjustments come with changing the person you're interacting with. But I think a lot of times when we get hurt from those situations, we stop doing the right thing, not realizing it was just a person.
Yes.
Right?
That's my
So
point.
sometimes you have to be able to separate the two.
I agree. You never switch up. You just switch up who you give that to.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, if you're within your femininity, you stay in that.
But-
This man
but-
just does not deserve it.
But that goes back to even the first topic we had. When you're at a restaurant and the bill comes and the bill, let's say you guys go out, you have a couple of drinks, maybe hookah and some wine and some dinner. The bill's about $200. How dare you let her go in? When she even grabs her purse and she does this, you stand there and watch her or even drink your drink and say, how dare you as a man allow her to do that? Now, don't get it twisted. If you're in a relationship, there's some dates nights where,
Of course.
you know,
Obviously.
in my last
Speak.
relationship, we had this thing where we take each other out once a month. So it's my time when I host it, she has no idea where we're going. And then this time when she goes out, where she has no idea where she's going as well, vice versa. And it was cute, it was like, every other week.
It's cute.
But that was the arrangement. But within that time, there was times when I take her to movies and stuff like that. But to me, and we go back again to 100. Let's just do 100,000. She makes 50,000. That $200 she's about to spend. You still could do that so many times. You make double the income you make.
Yeah.
That goes back to feminine energy, not only with finance, but as a man. As a man, like we can go back to roots in Africa or America. Would your dad really allow your mother 20, 30, 40 years ago do that? But now in the modern time with social media, because everybody got money from all sorts of ways, from social media or whatever, now you make money, or now you think money, calm down. But use that money to do different things. Like I might take you to dinner every single weekend, but when I come home one day, I want to pull up on a suit in my closet. Hey babe, I bought you a suit. Why? Oh, because you deserve a suit.
Yeah.
Oh, babe, I bought you some shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, babe, I cooked dinner tonight. Oh, babe, you know what? I booked the flight to Miami. Like, really? Like,
I love it.
that's spontaneously. That's being feminine. But what's happening nowadays, women don't do that. They don't do that.
I feel like there are women who does that.
If you do that, follow me, okay? It's gonna be down in the hashtags down there.
There's a lot of women, because I feel like there's a lot of women who like to take care of their men.
Like only be like that feminine energy with her man, and it's not really the same out in the real world. It's like,
You
I
have
guess
to
for me,
learn
it's
how to
like-
turn it off and on and off. But But with me, I don't know. I just feel like when you're like a masculine in the real world, that's it's gonna follow you back home. So is there a way to kind of just be feminine and be taken like seriously in the real world?
Yeah.
I'm
not necessarily going to say that women do not have the ability to scale back the energy on and off.
I'm about to say,
Right?
I
Because
feel like you can't though.
I've dated and encountered women that are doing it professionally, right? But when we get home,
They're back to
able
their
be extremely
feminine.
Okay.
Okay.
Willing to be led.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I think it takes a woman who's very self-aware
Yes.
to be able to do that. Because if you don't have a woman who has the awareness,
That's
she won't
true,
be able to
girl.
make that distinction
That's
between her energy in the workplace and her energy at the house.
Right.
Right? So I think it is possible. 'Cause I've seen and I've dated
What do you think, my brother?
Desmond, you haven't spoken. Speak.
question to you, brother, is the movement of feminism, the feminist movement, is that really altering your perceptions of how a woman should be to a man, or a woman in a society competing with a man?
Wait,
A
run
lot
me a
of that
question,
time,
okay?
like feminism. 'Cause I mean,
I
the
hate
Me Too,
feminists.
not even a Me Too movement. or
I know
anything
you're
like
talking
that.
about.
But
Yeah.
my understanding is feminism, you remember feminism is allowing, it's nothing wrong with women value their freedom, their individuality, and appreciate it. But there's a difference when it comes to competing with a man. Because y'all keep on throwing out this masculine energy within feminine, like masculine energy is competitive.
I would say all the time, I'm not a feminist. I 1000% believe in gender roles, and I understand in that shit. Like, and a lot of times we're talking about feminism, that don't be us. Feminism very rare.
What's that mean?
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I wanted to say that. Okay, because I want to go there. Let's dive in.
This thing y'all doing.
I'm saying, like, usually there's random white feminists who don't really give a fuck about the plight of black women. Usually. That's just my perspective.
That's a whole can of worms right now.
Let me tell you.
I got comfortable. Joseph, you want to go for that?
Let me tell you, I swear, being with a white, being with a white, in an interracial relationship, I feel so much more different. I feel so much more respected. I'm sorry.
This is for y'all. This is for y'all.
Not just go there.
This is for y'all. This is for y'all.
Y'all want to go there?
Yes, we want to go there.
This is why I say that. The only way to say black masculinity is for black men to really speak up and talk to other black men and have those type of
or learn how to treat a black woman.
Because black women, we try so hard
Now,
to
hold on.
fix the black man, and you can't fix y'all.
You can't. You're out in your mind.
I keep saying y'all what?
Okay, y'all, chill.
Right now, come on.
Chill. Okay.
Yeah, please. I beg.
The first question I have is, if you were to look on YouTube right now, would there be more videos about how men should treat women or how women should treat men?
Women treat women.
Men should treat men.
More videos about
women.
I think it's more about
women.
Y'all men think that women have.
Everything is about what women.
No. Let's go to this. Let Joseph finish.
one house.
My point is,
One mic.
it seems that there's more onus on men learning how to treat women than women necessarily learning how to treat men. Coupled with the fact that you have more women now in a modern society that are becoming more masculine, that becomes slightly problematic. Because for a man, not only are we now being told to, okay, this is how you need to treat women, but you don't necessarily have anybody teaching women how to treat men, which kind of creates this imbalance. Right? Because again, really, if you were to make a YouTube search, way more hot topics.
I guess my point wasn't even how to treat women. It's just really how to be men. Like how we had that, how you just sat there and said what a man's supposed to do. It's not enough of those conversations. Right.
Can
black
we?
men are not being raised by
Can we
men.
have this conversation? I really feel like black men do not treat or value black women.
How
It's the
dare y'all
truth.
say that?
It's the truth. I don't see. I really
meaning to be disrespectful.
It's not to be
That's like
disrespectful.
me saying that black
Can
was
we
a
be
law.
honest?
I can't say that.
If you've been in an interrelationship,
I have
Y'all
not.
want to go there?
But no, it's the truth. Black men don't value. Black men do not value. I'm not gonna say all, but you know, most
say most
some.
either.
Look, I don't see black men really valuing their black woman. It's you don't.
Oh, we getting attacked, guys?
It's not
we
really
get
what
it.
it's not.
It's full.
We're about to transition. We're
There was one thing
transitioning.
she said that I thought was very interesting. She said that you kind of alluded to you don't feel like black women necessarily talk about feminism, and that generally it's other races, primarily maybe Caucasian women, that bring up the idea of feminism, correct?
I feel like we're talking about the feminist movement that is
Okay.
headed by non-black women. Whenever
Sasha.
it's all about
I've never heard of that.
what?
White women
White women.
First of all,
how to treat a man.
No,
baby.
feminism.
Oh,
When it, whatever.
that's
When
because
we're talking about feminism, it's usually they don't give a fuck about black women. The shit that happens to black women, they ignore. They only give a fuck about shit that happens to them. That's just my perspective. And me, I used to try to be a feminist. I used to try to join the causes, but they don't value our voices. When it's us who are being discriminated against, when it's us who are being attacked and assaulted, nobody gives a fuck. That's my opinion. Whenever I see a black man getting attacked or murdered or whatever on the internet, everybody goes in oh my God, it's fucked up.
Thank
when you
you.
see it as a woman, crickets. You know how long Sandra Bland was dead before anybody talked about it? Do you know that Breonna Taylor died before George Floyd? That is a big issue. People don't give a fuck about black women. And
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me. Okay, I want to go back. Groove.
just accept that
Real
that's what we're
quick.
saying and just embrace us. You feel me? Because it's like it's hard to have conversations with men for me anyway. Because it's always seemed like it's a combative type of thing. It's like, nah, why can't we just have that conversation as an open conversation? And y'all like, damn, like it really is men like that. Like that's fucked up. Like,
So
I'm
let's
sorry,
let's
sis.
that's we're going into a different direction, right?
Yes.
And I love it. No, I love it. But go back to the topic at hand. So you said that you were dating
Oh my God.
and he was treating you better. He made you feel more feminine, right?
Very much.
Okay, so can you go ahead and explain that?
I mean,
What did he do that was different than dating a black
I
man?
don't know. You know, you know the movies. I lived it.
Okay.
I lived it. Like
You trying to tell a Perry movie?
Don't be like that.
when I tell you, it's like I don't know. There's just more thought process into how they want to treat your woman. Like they really, when I tell you, there's one thing that a woman really appreciates more than anything else is just the need to be desired.
Ooh, child.
Desired women.
Y'all want to go with it?
Well, listen. We will. I swear.
I got
keep it
something for
PG.
that.
But no, it's just
something
like
for that.
he's had a hard day at work. I had a hard day at work. We're tired or anything. But I come home and there's a blanket in the middle of the living room, candles everywhere and everything. I swear I'm still waiting for a black man to do that for me. I come home and it's just soft music playing. There's no dinner or anything. But it's just, baby, I miss you so much. I want to dance with you today. It's not like it's our song or anything. I just want to dance with you. I really miss you. I want to embrace you. Oh, baby, you know what? You know what? You don't have to touch anything. Here, matter of fact, here's $1,000. Go do what you got to do. And when you come home, there's dinner laid out and everything. Like no pressure. I didn't even hint at it. I don't hint. I don't do nothing. But it's just happening. And in myself, because I'm too much of a.
Wait, what?
You are what? What that? No, ma'am. No. Give me his number. Now. You messed it up.
It's just, it's not, honestly, I would have stayed. It's just at that minute, I did not.
You were gonna say you were too much of a
woman?
You gonna need this because
No, it's not that. I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. You know, everybody has their moments where, yeah, that's the one that got away. But for me, I just wasn't ready. I appreciated all that, and I took in everything that I experienced, and I would love to experience it.
I have to ask this question now for you, real quick. So now,
You messed it up.
would you say that because you are a masculine woman, that it kind of ruined it? Or were you kind of like not in your feminine?
No, he gave me a chance to be
But
vulnerable.
for you not to.
But you too much,
You
right?
said too much for
I'm a whole lot, whether I'm with a white man, black man, Filipino, anything.
But
I'm
that's a masculine trait. That's a
and there go my woman right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you know what? I swear you and I are
Fight me.
fight.
But listen, how many times do we see women online or in the club or anywhere in the world? Guys ain't nothing. I don't need no man for nothing. How many times do we see? Wait. Let me finish. Does that come from Latino women? Does that come from an Asian?
I know where you're going.
Or
I
does
know
it-
exactly
Oh
where
my
you're
God.
going.
Can I finish?
Where you go?
Can I finish? First of all, shout out to my mom and my sister. They are black women, strong African women. But we need to go with you, not you guys, but our fellow sisters out there in the world. Man ain't nothing. I don't need a man for nothing. I don't need a man for that. I don't need a man for that. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. I think all you gotta say is once upon a time.
That's just
Have you ever said that before?
that is us.
Oh, I ain't gonna say that. No, I said, but I get what you said.
Have you ever said that before in your life?
Yeah, I said that.
May I go around the room?
She answered
May I go?
I still
Can we give have you ever in your life said that?
Or saying it.
Nick ain't shit by surprise.
Right, on all platforms.
Okay. Next. Have you ever said in your life?
Yes.
Have you ever said in your life? Now wait. Let me
Okay,
get my
but-
point. Joseph, have you ever said women ain't nothing? Can I sounds right.
Okay, let's prove it.
I'm about to do my point. So we just went around the room, asking all the women the question. They all said yes. There's 3 males saying. I'm gonna ask you a question too. Have you ever said women ain't shit? No, I'm not gonna go with that one. My brother, with honesty, have you ever said that to yourself too?
Put the B word in there.
Bitches ain't shit.
I was about to say bitches ain't shit. But a real woman is this.
No.
But he said.
But to my point, we are all black men in this house right now. We have yet to say that. No,
I said a real woman.
yeah, come on now.
It's not
But-
about- but it's not
No,
like-
no, no.
I can't get
I would never sit there and I would
Let him-
never sit there
let him
and
finish.
rant on how bad women can be. I mean, everybody's gotten hurt by somebody. But to a certain extent,
we have to put it out there. You guys don't have Netflix, right? It's called Law of Attraction. The Secret. Watch it.
I have that book.
Give a free shot of The Secret. I know I did the movie that movie. But the point is this: we have to start speaking what we want. We keep talking about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. I have a solution for one. The first topic we had, but today I have a solution for that, and I'll explain right now. From now on, let's stop talking about people. Period. If you want to split a bill with your woman, this is what we're gonna do. You make $100,000. She makes 50, or she makes 100. You make 50. Put it together, or put a percentage. I'm going to pay 10% of the bills with my money. You're going to pay 10% of your money. Now, if you put the bills together and you split the percentage-wise, watch what happens. She will still have leftover money to do her nails, hair, and go on trips. You will also have money to do what you got to do. Let's stop doing 50-50. That is the solution. We keep talking about our problems. As far as feminine energy, I have a solution to that too. Let me finish my point, please. The solution to this whole feminine energy or whatever, it's healing. We all have been backstabbed, cheated on, and the list goes on. Let's stop talking about the issue. The solution is this: heal from it. Forgive them, but most importantly, forgive yourself. Because the next person might be the right person. Like, you know, your story was the only story you actually shared, but that was a very important point. You dealt with someone who treated you right. She came home to nice southern music, nice little blanket on a little picnic in the living room. That was amazing. She's not with him. She's not married to him because something she did was wrong. We're not gonna get into details, but my point is, she has to heal from that. Because there's another guy that's gonna appreciate you, who's you gonna actually love what you do, and love what he does for you, and things will go on. We have to forgive people and forgive ourselves and move on. We all fail, and also very, very masculine. But we have to move past it. We're not gonna help our kids in the future. We're not helping anybody that's watching the show right now. Let's move past it. You guys, I went around the room for a reason. You have said it before, you said it before, you said it before, you still say it right now. Let's move past that. Let's move past that now. Okay? Women ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, whatever you guys want to call them. At the end of the day, there's bad cops, there's good cops, there's bad cops. We can let's learn to move past it and make a difference. That's my point.
I love it.
That was a sermon. I don't know. I feel like I want to say one or two things, but we don't really have enough time.
Come on, 1, 2. We
I
got.
do, but okay, let me just say one thing. I really do feel black women are very masculine. It's the truth.
Yourself.
Black women can become very masculine. So that's the thing. Because I had a conversation earlier today. Somebody asked me, I'm not going to say who the person was, but this person asked me, was like, why are black women so angry? Yeah. That's the question I want to leave for y'all to think about because it's
Because of Becky with the good hair.
Absolutely.
so that's
I don't give a damn what.
conversation.
What?
That was a good
But
topic.
it's something that I do want people to ponder on. But I love this conversation.
It was great.
Right? You know, we always get to say our minds and be respectful. Yes, no problem. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
But yeah, so yes, y'all like we all have our individual, perspectives on this conversation, this topic.
That was lit.
We're never gonna come to a resolution. No, we will. But I just feel like it's a good conversation to have. Just bring, for dialogue.
It just needs.
Stop being
There are
black
some
men
men-
against black women. It needs to be both of us against the issue.
Amen.
Yeah, that's
beats him